All right, yeah. I'm making a video surprisingly about JEE because I feel obligated to, and also to increase the channel outreach because it has been dead. Now we're going to be stopping with the Monk Mode series for a bit for the next couple of videos, I guess. So today I'm here to talk about the only strategy or the only advice that you need, or the advices that you need to clear your JEE Mains and JEE Advanced with a really good score. Now, before we start with this career counseling session, I'd like to give a few points of why you should listen to me, a random stranger, and in fact a nobody in life, giving you gyan, giving you karuttugal for free. I have no benefit out of this, purely making it because I feel obligated to, because I was helped by a ton of seniors. First point is I cleared JEE Advanced with a decent rank. It wasn't a really good rank. I got a rank of 15,813, and back in the day, it wouldn't have given me an IIT. I'm talking about 2018-17. But now, since the competition has in fact increased by a factor of 1.5, and the number of seats in IITs also have increased a little bit, not proportionally, I was able to get into IIT Jammu, and I'm pursuing chemical engineering there. Although for my rank, I could have also gotten engineering physics there. I could have gotten a couple of low preferred courses at Gen 2 IITs like IIT Dhanbad, uh, BSc, MSc courses, I guess, in IIT Jodhpur, IIT Mandi, and all third gen IITs. And I was getting material science, civil, etc., and even materials in Bhubaneswar, which is a tier 2 IIT. My mains rank was 69,985. My VIT triple E rank oddly was 12,100 and something. I missed UGEE cutoff by a very small score. I got some 160 in bit sat, right? So these are average stats. I got 95.4% in 12th boards. And my first semester CG in college is actually decent. It is an 8. It is close to an 8. It is 7.9 something. I'm rounding it off to 8. These are my stats, right? Now, you might have wasted some time, but let me tell you about the important things that you need for JEE. You can skip up to this part if you just want the main point, right? If you just want the main points, and we'll start with why you need to listen to me. I've told that, but I'll give you some excerpts of conversations that I've had with my seniors. I have many seniors who I'm in contact with who are in IIT Delhi, IIT Madras, IIT Kharagpur. I think even my fellow batchmates, many of them are in IIT Madras, IIT Delhi, IIT Bombay, IIT Kharagpur, IIT Kanpur. There's one in IIT Guwahati, and a good amount of them are in NIT Trichy, some in NIT Andhra Pradesh, some in BITS, etc. So spread across, and and they are in very good colleges as well. One thing that I noticed was you can't give the same gyan to each and every single person. You're supposed to give specialized, sophisticated, and different. You're supposed to approach G individually. It's a unique exam. It is supposed to be something which is up to you to prepare and to devise a plan. But there are certain standards that you can follow, and these standards have to be in accordance to each and every single person's broad situation, generic situation. So there are three standards of people. In no way am I ranking them. There is no hierarchy there. Number one, the standard one people are people who have been preparing for 2, 3, 4 years, etc. years consistently, who have completed 90% or plus of their syllabus, which is basically they've completed their portions and they're doing their revision and taking their mock tests and are getting a very good score. Let us say you are aiming for 270 in mains, but you're getting around 250, it's still fine. You're getting above 200, it's fine. You're getting above 180 in good level mains tests and in normal mains tests as well. If your score is above 180, 190, you come into this category, right? So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to take a lot of mock tests. You're supposed to revise your NCRT a lot. When I mean a lot, you're supposed to continuously revise your NCRT for chemistry and do a lot of problems for math, selectively pick questions for math, and do practice questions and theory analysis for physics, chemistry, and math as well, of course. And you just continue with the way that you're going. And please stay off of social media. Don't go into the trap of creators online asking you to do this, asking you to do particular books or modules or their own courses for you to improve your score. It is not needed. If you're getting consistently above 180, 190 now, then that means that you have a really high potential. And on your own, if you just revise your NCRT properly, if you revise your short notes, make short notes and revise them, and if you're taking consistent mocks and doing test analysis, yes, test analysis is something important that each and every single one of my seniors told me to do was, bhai, test analysis panne, test analysis karo, test analysis, do your test analysis properly. If you take 3 hours to write a paper, do your test analysis for even 4 hours. Make sure you don't do that mistake again, which I did. I did not focus on test analysis initially. At the latter stages, I did do my fair share of test analysis, but it was a bit too late to create any significant impact. This is standard 1 of students. You can quit, you can stop watching the video now. Now we have the standard 2 of students. If you plot the graph of probability distribution graph of serious students, or at least those who have the will to perform well in JEE and are taking steps, I think the majority or the average person would be from this standard. Although people are going to say that, if you're a student, your coaching teachers might say that, bhai, 15 lakh mein, ya fir let us say 13 or 14 lakh people who write the exam actually, there are only going to be 4 or 5 lakh seriously, right? Now that number has become 4 or 5 lakh. Earlier it used to be 2 or 3 lakh. But with the advent of EdTech, it has grown. So the amount of people who are serious, at least in thought of preparation, the average person would come from this stream, right? And if you're talking about quantitative analysis of this person would have an average score of 100 to 180 in JEE Mains, plus or minus 10. 100 to 170, 180. They might cross 180 in a few tests, but not regularly. They're done with 70% or 60 to 70% of syllabus, and they're doing that well. Now, if you've completed your 60 to 70% of syllabus well, what you're supposed to do until your JEE Mains 1 is you're supposed to focus on the high weightage topics. Now, in 2025, there was a dilemma, because if you see, at least in my shift 2025, 22nd January, shift 1, there was a lot of questions from topics which were not necessarily asked frequently in the past 5 years. So that created a lot of exam pressure and exam panic. So this meant that students had to kind of grasp all the concepts of all the topics for their next attempt, which many people did, right? So what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to make sure that you understand the formulas and the concepts thoroughly of almost all the topics of around 90% of the syllabus. But you should be confident and strong in the 70 to 80% which you're going to be doing, finishing by the next 4-5 days or the next week, or you're supposed to be confident in the 70% of syllabus that you've done. Because if you see, theoretically, if 100% of the syllabus is going to come in the paper, and if you're pretty damn sure about 70% of the syllabus completely together, everything, you're going to get 210. 70% of 300 is 210. You're going to get 210. But of course, there is no person, I don't think, is perfect enough, except for the all India rank top 100, 200s who get a near to perfect score or a near to perfect percentile. Near to 100 are going to get. And obviously, hate to say it, you don't fall into that category. The top 200 ranks are already decided. But you can definitely get a score if you're doing consistently well. You can get a score of above 95 to 96 percentile, and there is no theoretical cap. But from what I've seen, people usually peak at 99. There are cases where if you plot the graph of the standard 2 students versus their marks, if you plot the graph, you might find very few people at the 99.5, 99.6 range, but a majority of them lie in the 96, 97, and 98 percentile range, which is very good. You can get 97 or 98, say, even being a general candidate. You can get average NITs में average branch, decent triple ITs में average branch. So you have a backup, right? What you're supposed to do to improve that score, this is the main part. What you're supposed to do to improve that score is, again, you're supposed to have your NCRT in your fingertips completely. For your chemistry, for your math, I would say especially class 12th, make sure you have, I assume if you're serious enough, you would have solved NCRT problems by solving the book or doing illustrations from your coaching module or from wherever you're preparing. All of those illustrations, usually the basic ones, are from NCRT. Completely do your NCRT. Focus on the high weightage topics. Again, make sure you have knowledge of almost all the topics, but you have expertise on these high weightage topics. Make sure you do that. And make sure you also write a ton of mock tests and do a lot of mock test analysis. Give a sufficient amount of time of your prep into the test analysis, right? And if your coaching is reputed, like Akash, like Alan, like Motion, Resonance, VMC, and if you feel like, okay, my coaching is good, the modules are good, the packages are good, the tests are also on a good level, then go for it. Just stick to that. Don't get distracted. There are a good amount of YouTube channels online that will help you with your revision, which is going to be Eduniti for physics. You have JEE Nexus by Unacademy, especially the Arvind Kalia sir videos, one shots for math, which are really good for conceptual revision. And you can go for formula sheets and short notes. Make sure you make short notes now, because they will be really, really useful during that last week of revision before mains. I did not make short notes and I really regret that. Make sure you also do a good volume of question practice from the previous year question, the archives of JEE Main, and make sure you solve all the tougher questions. Understand the tough questions. If you're not able to solve it, it is completely fine. Understand the solution, and the next time when you solve that question, you'll be able to do it on your own. You should be able to do it on your own. Standard 2 students, if you do this, if you do your NCRT properly, your short notes properly, your notes properly, do your notes properly, make short notes, revise them thoroughly. And for math, solve a lot of questions, selectively solve topics. Don't go for the entire syllabus in math if your math is weak. If your math is strong, focus on chemistry NCRT. If your physics is strong, try to make sure that you are perfect in chemistry, or try to make sure your chemistry is coming to a good level by doing NCRT revision and previous year question revision, and the same for math, right? Make sure you are at least strong in 2 subjects. My recommendation would be to score extremely high or really high in physics and chemistry, and score a decent score in math. A decent score in math is around 20 for a tough paper, 30 for a 30 to 40 for an average paper, and 50 in an easy paper, or 40 plus in an easy paper, right? How do you know if it is a tough, medium, or easy paper? It is done when you solve a lot of question papers, right? When you solve a lot of mock tests, when you solve a lot of question papers. Do not solve extremely tough papers. AITS of Fiji was very famous for giving really, really tough questions. I didn't do them. I remember in one test I got like 8 out of 180 or something like that. After that, I didn't touch AITS Fiji. That is solely for the top 200 rankers to combat their exam temperament, whatever. Solve relevant question papers, solve relevant questions. The previous year questions are more than enough. Do your NCRTs thoroughly, short notes, etc. Now you can go on, carry on with your prep. And now the standard 3 of students who have not been serious about JEE for a long time, but are now ready to prep, right? You are now ready to prep. So what can you do to utilize starting 13th December through to 21st January, right? So you have say 18 days and then 20 days. You have around 30 to 40 days. You have a month left. Now, no false promises. Personally, I feel you can't get a score of, or you can't get a percentile, you can't get above the 95 percentile range if you are starting from zero. If you're starting from zero, you can't get above 95 percentile range. There was one guy on YouTube in my batch who got 99.88. I think his name is Shubham JM. He got 99.88. He only did prep for 3 months, right? And he did serious JEE prep for 3 months. But one thing in his story was कि भाई, he had his NCRT on his fingertips. He was really good at math, and he just solved previous year papers, and that is what was needed, right? And Banda was capable as well. He seems to be a very sharp dude. So it is one of the rare cases where hard work and talent is also involved, right? Props to him. But if you're an average student, or if I'm talking about the average student of the standard 3 type who hasn't done any preparation. Right now, your target is to get to 90 plus percentile. 90 प्लस परसेंटाइल में आपका रैंक होता है 1,00,000 के अंदर, राइट? ഒരു ലക്ഷത്തിൽ റാങ്ക് വരും 90 പ്ലസ് പെർസെൻറ്റൈൽ. യുവർ റാങ്ക് ഇസ് 1 lakh below for 90 plus percentile, and it is extremely easy to get 90 plus percentile if you do selected topics. Do the high weightage topics of the previous 5 years, especially 2025, practice questions of 2025. Do your NCRT of class 12th, especially organic. If you're able to do organic from class 12, right? Let us say you're a person who does good in CBSE and who's like कि भाई JEE तो मेरे बस के नहीं है. If you were thinking that earlier, but now you want to just write the exam, this is for you. And there's another separate section of section standard 3 as well, which I'll talk about. But if you're a person who's done decently well or good or above average in your JEE in your school boards till now, you can aim for a percentile of above 85 plus to 95 at max. 95 at max. There might be some outlier people, but personally I believe it's 95 max. The cap is 95. It's a decent percentile at 95. You get a lot of state colleges which look at JEE Main through 95, right? What you're supposed to do is do the NCRT of organic. If you're ready to work hard, the next 30 days you can cover the entirety of organic through one shots, through NCRT, through practice questions. Where you do one shots from your coaching. If you're not going to a coaching, which I assume because you're not a serious JEE aspirant, do it from YouTube. You can do it from Dexter Chem, या फिर you can go to RA Sir's one shots from physics wala, or you can go to MK Sir's one shot. But MK Sir's one shots, which I personally liked, were really advanced. It was not just for JEE Main level, it was for JEE advanced level. So I prefer that you do something from even Pankaj sir. Pankaj Sajaria is a faculty in physics wala, and he has his own channel, and his old videos on physics wala were also really great. Hats off to him as well. Really great tutor, and you can watch his videos and do organic completely. Try to do inorganic, especially your class 12th. You anyways need to prep for your boards, so do your class 12th board syllabus properly from NCRT. Solve previous year questions, and for class 11 try to remember subjects like topics like atomic structure, because that'll be very easy in JEE Mains, and it does involve a good amount of logic. So it is like कि आपको अगर 85 से ऊपर लेके आना है, you don't need to worry much. Just apply that logic. Focus a lot on organic. Try to do inorganic as much as possible. अगर inorganic नहीं आ रहा है तो fine. Don't try to over attempt. Try to do physical. Physical questions previous year से हो जाएंगे, ठीक है? Physical, a majority of physical I think is from 11th or 12th. I forgot. But try to do those topics, right? Do previous year questions and try to do questions of physics. Physics में you can go for topics like modern physics. You can go for topics like moment of inertia in rotational mechanics. You can go for kinematics. You can go for vectors. You can go for NLM. All of this involves pure logic, a little bit of practice, more than enough. And you don't need to go for topics like waves because it will be a bit academically rigorous right now. You can go for waves तो हो गया और क्या class 12th में. You can go for ray optics. Wave optics is not my forte, was not my forte, so I didn't go for that. But you can go for ray optics. और क्या है भाई? Current electricity, of course. Current electricity, you can go for it, an easy chapter. And electrostatics depends on you. I found it a bit tough. You can go for gravitation. If you do well in gravitation, you can go for electrostatics. Do fluids, the Bernoulli's principles, equations, etc. Really easy. And yeah, these are the important topics. Do previous year question practice on them. And for maths, if I'm being very honest, for an average student starting right now, it's Jai Matari for maths. Because maths is something that is like wine. It takes time to, for you to get better with it. If you're someone who is naturally good at math, then you don't need my advice. Do previous year questions, try to find tricks in it. But if you're not someone who's really good at math, then try to focus on coordinate geometry. Yeah, फिर do your 12th portions because it is needed for your boards. Don't mess up a lot because your main aim should be to get a decent percentile and do well in boards. You can now focus on April attempt, which I'll talk about later. And for the section B of standard 3 people who have not done anything well in NCRT as well, real advice, no sugarcoating, bhai pad lo. Go study for boards first, and then we can talk about JEE Mains later. A separate video would be done for people who have done 0 for boards, who have done 0 for mains. JEE Main January attempt isn't going to be yours. You can prep, you can just go attempt just to know the feel of the exam. JEE Main April attempt, you can aim for a score of 95, 96, 97. And agar kismet aapke saath hai, you can aim for 98 as well. It is going to be difficult because there are people, lakhs of people preparing for 2 years. So the odds of you preparing just 3 months and getting a 98 or 99 is going to be extremely low. Never zero, extremely low. This is what I wanted to say in this video. I felt this was necessary. I was obligated because I still remember a lot of my seniors spending their precious time and talking, giving me advice, चाहे बिट्स हैदराबाद में, चाहे बिट्स गोवा में, बिट्स पिलानी में, IIT खड़गपुर, IIT मद्रास, CSE, DSAI, केमिकल, इलेक्ट्रिकल, IIT दिल्ली CS, IIT, हर एक कॉलेज में I think I know a senior because I was always trying to get advice from them. Although I never could practically implement it to the best result, to get the best result, I got a decent one and I owe a huge portion of it. And it is important that if you made it till this point of the video, I'm really appreciative of you. I'll be uploading some more JEE content because I feel like it will be really helpful for people who are wandered and lost just like I was. Although I did get really great advice, I didn't know how to implement it. So that was a huge problem in mine. And a general advice is don't really, get pressurized by the examination. That is why I think I failed in JEE Mains. In JEE Advanced, I had no hopes. I was down, I was depressed. I was looking for a last ditch of effort, last, ray of hope. And fortunately, that was JEE Advanced for me. But if you don't do well in Mains 1, it is fine. If you don't do well in Mains 2 also, that is fine. Because I've seen people here in IIT Jammu, even though it is a third gen IIT, still there are people who have worked hard to get to this point, who have not done well in JEE Mains, who have not done well in JEE Mains 1 or 2, but have done really good in JEE Advanced. An example is me. I went from 17,000 to 70,000 to 15,000 something. It is a decent comeback, so you can also look for it. And I'll be probably uploading more JEE content again, as I said. So I hope you like this format. I don't have time for flashy editing. I don't have time to write complete scripts because I feel it takes away the purpose. I'm doing this for the betterment of my juniors, of the juniors to whom I'm obligated to pay it forward. So if you found this video, then I wish you all the best for your JEE Mains. So keep preparing. I'll be making more content later. So until then, this is Ashwath from Project IIT, trying to live the life. Signing off. All right, bye.